What if the version of you that scares you the most is the one you were born to become? Not the version that smiles politely. Not the one that stays quiet to avoid conflict. Not the one that survives by being agreeable, predictable, small. I'm talking about the version you buried. The one who was told they were too loud. Too sensitive. Too intense. Too ambitious. Too emotional. Too wild. That version didn't disappear. It went underground. You learned early that love was conditional. That approval had rules. That safety came from fitting in. So you adapted. You became what was expected. You learned to hide your anger. You learned to suppress your desires. You learned to silence your instincts. And slowly, without realizing it, you began performing your life. Carl Jung called this mask the persona. At first, it protects you. Later, it imprisons you. You forget it's a role. You start believing it's who you are. You say, "I'm fine," when you're empty. You say yes when your body screams no. You smile while resentment grows inside. You confuse approval with love. Control with safety. Survival with living. But late at night, when everything is quiet, a question appears. Whose life am I really living? That quiet emptiness you feel is not weakness. It is your soul asking to come home. Inside you lives everything you were taught to reject. Your anger. Your desire. Your power. Your ambition. Your vulnerability. Jung called this the shadow. Not because it is evil, but because it exists outside awareness. Every time you were told, "Calm down." Every time you were shamed for wanting more. Every time you were punished for expressing truth. Those parts had nowhere to go. So they went inward. And what you repress does not disappear. It waits. It grows. It learns how to control you from behind the curtain. Your anxiety. Your sabotage. Your addictions. Your broken relationships. Your unexplained sadness. These are not random. They are messages from the shadow. Jung warned. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. You think you are choosing. But much of what you call choice is actually compulsion. Your shadow holds not only your darkness. It holds your vitality. Your creativity. Your courage. Your sexuality. Your strength. Your authentic voice. You didn't lose these qualities. You exiled them. And now they demand to be seen. The first fear. If I accept my shadow, I will become a bad person. You were taught that anger is dangerous. That desire is sinful. That ambition is selfish. But repression doesn't make you good. It makes you unconscious. A person who knows their darkness is safer than someone who pretends it doesn't exist. Integration creates responsibility. Denial creates chaos. The second fear. If I'm authentic, I'll be rejected. Yes. Some people will leave. But listen carefully. You are already being rejected. By yourself. Every time you silence truth for comfort. Every time you abandon instinct for approval. You can be accepted for your mask and feel empty. Or rejected for your truth and feel alive. Choose wisely. The third fear. If I claim my power, I will hurt others. So you stay small. Passive. Harmless. But repressed power becomes resentment. Integrated power becomes boundaries. Clarity. Presence. Strength without cruelty. The fourth fear. I don't know who I am without my defenses. This is ego death. Your old identity collapses. And it feels like annihilation. But Jung knew. What feels like death is rebirth. You don't lose yourself. You finally meet yourself. Self-discovery is not peaceful. It is violent. Jung called it individuation. The process of becoming whole. Not just light. Not just good. Everything. It usually begins with crisis. Burnout. Breakups. Depression. Existential collapse. Your psyche cracking open. Demanding integration. Dreams darken. Emotions intensify. Desires resurface. Judgments dissolve. You begin seeing in yourself what you once condemned in others. This is not breakdown. This is awakening. Individuation requires sacrifice. The sacrifice of the false self. The persona must die. And death hurts. But only what is false can die. What is real survives. You don't add new layers. You remove lies. You don't become someone else. You become uncontaminated. First, reclaim projections. List traits that trigger you in others. Ask. Where does this live in me? Not abstractly. Specifically. This returns power. Second, active imagination. Sit quietly. Visualize your shadow as a figure. Speak to it. Ask. Why are you here? What do you need? What happens if I ignore you? Write everything. You'll discover it isn't a monster. It's an abandoned child. Third, embodiment. Shadow work must enter reality. Say no. Speak truth. Post something vulnerable. Take space. Create something useless. Each action breaks conditioning. Fourth, write a letter from your future integrated self. Let it tell you what died. What was reclaimed. What finally became free. Fifth, ritual death of the persona. Write down the role you play. The people pleaser. The perfect one. The invisible one. Thank it. Then release it. Burn it. Bury it. Let it go. You were never broken. You were divided. Your symptoms were signals. Your suffering was instruction. Your shadow was not your enemy. It was your unfinished self. The parts you feared were medicine. The traits you rejected were keys. Wholeness does not mean perfection. It means integration. It means standing in your full humanity. Light and dark. Strength and tenderness. Fire and softness. So let me ask you again. What if the person you're most afraid to become is the only person who can save you? Your shadow is waiting. Not to destroy you, but to complete you. Let the mask fall. Let the fragments return. Let yourself be whole. Say it out loud. Not quietly in your mind. Not politely in your thoughts. Out loud. I am angry. I want more. I am tired of pretending. I am done being small. Your nervous system needs to hear your truth. Your body needs permission to exist fully. Most people think transformation happens in insight. It doesn't. It happens in declaration. When you finally stop negotiating with fear. When you stop explaining yourself. When you stop waiting for permission. Your shadow does not respond to silence. It responds to courage. Each time you speak your truth, something ancient inside you wakes up. Something primal. Something real. You avoid pain like it's your enemy. But Jung understood something radical. Pain is the doorway. The grief you never processed. The rage you swallowed. The heartbreak you buried. The humiliation you minimized. All of it lives in your body. Waiting. You don't heal by bypassing pain. You heal by entering it consciously. Sit with discomfort. Let tears come. Let anger move through your chest. Let fear shake your hands. This is not weakness. This is integration. Your nervous system must complete what it was never allowed to finish. Every suppressed emotion is unfinished business. And unfinished business becomes identity. Feel it. Let it move. Let it pass. This is how you come back to yourself. Society teaches you to be harmless. Jung taught something else. Be conscious. A harmless person is not virtuous. They are powerless. A conscious person knows their capacity for destruction and chooses restraint. That is strength. Become dangerous in awareness. Dangerous in truth. Dangerous in boundaries. Stop explaining why you deserve space. Stop apologizing for existing. Stop shrinking to keep others comfortable. Your softness will return. But first your spine must grow. There will be a moment when your old life no longer fits. Friends feel distant. Old habits feel hollow. Old goals feel meaningless. This is the in-between. The void. Jung called this the nigredo. Psychological death. Nothing makes sense. You feel lost. But this is sacred territory. Do not rush it. Do not distract yourself. Do not rebuild the old cage. Stay. Something inside you is reorganizing. Your nervous system is rewiring. Your identity is dissolving. This is not failure. This is rebirth preparation. Slowly. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop performing. You start inhabiting your body. You stop chasing validation. You start honoring intuition. You no longer need to prove. You simply are. Your relationships change. Your standards rise. Your energy becomes calm. Not because life is easier, but because you are no longer divided. Your shadow becomes your ally. Your anger becomes clarity. Your desire becomes creativity. Your pain becomes wisdom. This is wholeness. Not perfection. Presence. You were never meant to be palatable. You were meant to be real. Your shadow was not your curse. It was your initiation. The parts you feared carried your medicine. So stop running. Turn around. Face yourself. Integrate what was exiled. And step forward as a complete human being. Not polished. Not perfect. Whole. Because the person you were most afraid to become was always the one waiting to bring you home. There will come a phase where even motivation disappears. Not sadness. Not fear. Silence. You wake up and nothing excites you. Your old dreams feel distant. Your old identity feels foreign. You sit with yourself and feel empty. This is not depression. This is psychological molting. Like a snake shedding skin. Your system is clearing old attachments. Most people panic here. They rush to fill the void with noise. Scrolling. Drugs. Relationships. Distractions. But Jung warned. Do not flee the void. The void is sacred. It is where the new self assembles. Stay still. Let the silence teach you. Right before integration, the ego fights back. You start doubting everything. Was this all fake? Am I going crazy? Should I just go back to who I was? This is the last defense. The ego would rather return to suffering than surrender control. It will bring old cravings. Old habits. Old people. Old identities. Do not negotiate. This is initiation. Hold the line. Your nervous system is learning a new operating system. Trust the collapse. Now something new rises. Not explosive. Not dramatic. Steady. You begin feeling your anger without being consumed by it. You feel desire without shame. You feel power without guilt. Your shadow stops screaming. Because you finally listened. You stop projecting. You stop blaming. You take ownership. This is adulthood. Not age. Responsibility. You no longer need enemies. You understand yourself. Once integrated, people look different. You stop demonizing. You stop idealizing. You see trauma instead of evil. You see fear instead of arrogance. You see wounded children inside adult bodies. And most importantly, you stop abandoning yourself to save relationships. You choose alignment over attachment. Truth over comfort. Presence over performance. Freedom is not fireworks. It's calm. It's grounded. It's waking up without self-betrayal. It's speaking without rehearsing. It's resting without guilt. It's walking away without explaining. It's loving without losing yourself. You stop needing to be understood. You understand yourself. The child returns. Not childishness. Wonder. Creativity. Play. Curiosity. You laugh deeper. Cry honestly. Create without approval. Your nervous system remembers joy. Your body remembers safety. Your soul remembers direction. This is your original state. Before conditioning. Before shame. Before masks. You don't become enlightened. You become integrated. You don't transcend humanity. You inhabit it fully. Light. Dark. Sacred. Animal. You stop chasing purpose. You become it. So if your life feels like it's falling apart, good. Your false self is dying. Your real self is arriving. Do not resist. Become whole.